People, I'm back with my mask, okay? Yet again, because coronavirus is real, okay? Coronavirus is real. Listen, we're gonna get into it. I got the election crew here. Y'all come on in. Come on in.
We in here.
Oh.
It's not gonna be
in Trace. No, I don't think so. Oh my God.
Let me tell you, when they spanned that crowd, when I saw the breaking news and it said over 1,000 people, and I was like, what stage is DC in? Or what stage? How does that?
None of it makes sense.
Anybody is in stage 5.
Did y'all hear? Wait. But did you hear the protesting in the background?
Oh, yes, you can hear
the go-go bands. Oh my gosh, I was like, my Washingtonians, the folks east of the river, are coming. Come on, Ward 7 and 8.
Listen, let's start there. Let's start there because this you could hear this throughout his speech, but we'll come back to some of the other things. But we have to talk about the contrast of what's happening here. The 70-minute speech, the second longest in conventions ever.
And the first longest was still him.
And it was the first one ever done at a White House, breaking every single law known, all Hatch Acts, everything. And Turtle of Kentucky is not going to do anything about it. Turtle's not.
We should not say law and order. We should say lawlessness and disarray. That's really what this is: lawlessness and disarray. Let's go back to the top. I don't know if y'all caught the top, but we'll start there. The Reverend Franklin. Oh, I didn't welcome the people because this might be your first time watching. Oh, you might be listening on the podcast, or you're watching us live, whichever you are. We welcome you to the deep end. I got the election crew here, Quiana Stone and Letitia Tajuba here, always with us to talk about all of the things and what the things that are not. And there's a whole lot of things that were not tonight again.
Not. N-O-T. Not.
What world were they living in?
Masks were not.
Masks were not there.
Social distancing, not
there.
Mayor of DC, your cases are going up tomorrow.
Oh, she's gonna be hot
tomorrow. Okay.
Mayor Bowser is not ready. Mayor Bowser is like, I'm ready for this.
Your cases are going up tomorrow. Just be ready for it because they said almost 2,000 people on the White House lawn. Not to mention this firework display on the National Mall. That's another story.
Okay. Listen, I'm concerned. I'm concerned from my family in the Maryland area, and this is not even an exaggeration. This is
right.
Okay. I'm really concerned. I was waiting for the story about how they had quarantined these people for 2 weeks and had tested them. And so like they had this like camp where these people took 2 weeks off their lives to be prepared for this day. And then that makes that okay. Like I'm waiting, like they put them in a Disney bubble, like all the NBA players. And they've been in a Disney bubble for like 2 weeks. And that makes it okay that they were sitting like this was a normal day.
Trace, I want to talk about that. Why is he talking about they really spelled out his name? I peeped that. But but to your point, Quiana, you already know they didn't do that. You already know.
I'm just like, make it make sense. I'm trying to make sense out of, because here's why I'm as hot as I am. I am hot like fish grease hot mad. Okay, because in the last couple weeks with us working in higher ed,
Right.
We have seen these massive parties. Universities have suspended kids. And in some cases, depending on the situation, kick them out.
Yeah.
Right.
They don't come back because you elected to go to a party off campus, what have you, and congregate with the masses. That we've seen these college parties in the last couple of weeks of schools opening in these massive crowds, just like that, right? And so where universities have said, I need names. They've looked at video footage because students tape and record everything. They record their lives on the reel. They got a new thing. They got the reels. They got TikTok, all the things. And so university officials have found these receipts, identify who they said, and then tell me who all your friends were on your left and your right, because they're all leaving the institution. And so when I see what I saw tonight, how is it that we can sit up and then how am I to do my job and hold students accountable for safety and well-being about you are not supposed to be in large gatherings larger than 50, right? On a good day. Because that's what I was like, remind me, I need the people to tell me what stage of the phases that DC is in right now. Like, and have an exemption. And so when I see that, you know, it's because it's like we could be sued. I think universities folks about to sue.
Actually, there is
the president can do it. How are you above the law?
There are almost 200 lawsuits,
right,
institutions of higher education right now, about the higher ed experience at all the things right now.
I mean,
and the list is growing.
Here's the thing about that to that point, because like I was talking to a parent today, and this parent, of course, mad because her son's bored and can't just go do his homework like every other normal person could. And she's like, well, it's your job to entertain. It's like, it's my job to educate, sis. And I'm one of the first folks to let you know, you do not want your son seeing me. Because if I have to come and see your son, it's because your son's in trouble. But I said to her straight up, I was like this, all the things that he wants to do and that sort of stuff, we can't do because it's too dangerous.
Out of all of these conversations are talking about keeping schools open, and I think about all of our colleagues who have enacted practices following the CDC and local guidelines to keep our institutions open. You are facilitating a practice that we know to be unsafe right now, in the name of
ego.
Ego, yes. What president has spelled out their name in fireworks?
You know, I'm just saying, like the last time a president died because they decided to test the waters in nature and science was William Henry Harrison, who died because he had a cold because he decided to do his inauguration speech in the rain back in the 1800s. Just saying.
So the social distancing a lot. Let's did y'all catch this other guy, Kevin?
The dude from
Minority Leader?
Yeah. No.
Nothing.
Kevin McCarthy. I'm sorry. That's the same dude who started crying when Elijah Cummings told him he was racist. Next caller.
Yeah, and here's my thing, right? With Kevin, like Kevin. This is why they left you home alone. Okay, so let me. I got my notes. You know, got my notes, right? So he was one of the first talking up there things that he talked about: energy independence and the gas. And first of all, I was like, gas prices
are high.
And then Trump turned around and brought it up later. I was like, bruh, gas is low because ain't nobody going nowhere and we don't need no gas.
Right.
Like that was the first thing. Prices dropped. Like I ain't never seen gas for $1 and some change in Chicago. Only in the pandemic. All my life, I ain't never seen gas that low in Chicago.
When I was at State College and it got down to $1.97, I literally thought I was living because I was like, wait a minute, I ain't seen this in years.
Listen.
So help me understand it. Okay, it's misleading, and we had a lot of misleading themes, right? That
yes.
we are on our way. We pretty much energy independent. Well, help me understand why we still no, because the breakdown is that half of our oil is imported still, bruh. And so our oil and our natural gases. And the fact that like we have 9 million barrels per day and like the 20 mil. So help me understand where it's coming from then.
Let me tell you what I did.
I checked, we were still heavily reliant on imported.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
We don't produce enough. And the New York Times has a list of all the things said tonight that they're doing on their website. It's a list of misleading, false, highly exaggerated, and then a few things, like 2 things are true and something is mostly true on their list. But check it out, like a whole lot of lies.
I think the whole energy independence thing, I was just like, so y'all just gonna just take something from the black dude who was trying to do that his entire 8 years? Okay, next. Plagiarize like your wife did a couple years ago.
Right. Edwin, this is a good Cabernet. I'm a if I'm drinking regular, I'm a cab guy. Okay. Just a regular cab, and it's got decent legs on it, okay, for my wine connoisseurs out there. It's got decent legs on it. I can make you some recommendations. I'm something like a connoisseur, okay?
Let me know. Okay.
But I do like a good Malbec, okay? A good Malbec. I'll leave the Pinot alone. It's not for me. I'll buy it for you, but it ain't for me. Some of y'all family members showed up tonight.
None of them are my family members.
Again, I told you I'm working on my ancestry.com. No.
I think I recognize one of those cats though. Like I've seen him around in the Black Political DC network.
He's an aide. I'm from Howard.
Mm-hmm. And I saw him and I was like, he looks so familiar. Let me ask my homegirls, because I was quite drunk at those times. Maybe I know him, maybe I don't. And they was like, yeah, we hung out with him at one point, but we didn't hang out with him after that. He was kind of boring. I didn't know he supported Tangerine Mussolini. I just didn't know.
The Lord be saving you sometimes, and you don't even know it.
You're bullied. I don't even think he liked me because I was still had such an attitude. But cool.
Rachel said Rachel Maddow listed 21 lies right when he finished. We'll come to that at the a little bit of his end. So does the wine have Beyonce legs? No.
That's a question though.
Strong legs, yes.
That Beyonce legs. Kylie, I don't know where
Kylie, we need to be friends. I like you.
I can't. Let's go to the next. This was very.
She gave a good speech.
She did not condemn anybody. She just talked about how grateful she was.
I don't think she talked about how she was going to vote for anyone. So
she didn't, and I think she was.
I missed this one. I was in a meeting. Alex was the one that got pardoned, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I think that was some of some of, yes, I believe, yes, she definitely probably signed some paperwork and secured a bag, between Trump and, and if not Trump, Kim Kardashian from the Kardashian clan. So, because she was heavily involved in her conversation, her release.
I think it's very hard, and it's hard to criticize a person who wants their freedom, right, and to miss the opportunity to get it, right. Like I can't blame you for taking the opportunity to get free. I can't blame you for that. So I understand her high praise for the person and the people who helped her to see life very differently. And I think that's why her speech was very tamed down versus some of the other folks, right? Like she didn't lean into some of the lies and the vitriol. It was just focused on what she had done while she was incarcerated, focused on things that she wanted to do, her gratefulness, very much steeped in the faith, the Christian faith. It was a lot. It was a lot.
It was a lot, but I was just kind of like, oh, something, a little bit of hope in the middle of all this dumpster fire.
Mm-hmm. And it was because I know Ivanka, when she got up, because then that was part of her speech, circling back around to tenderizing the moment and, humanizing Trump in that moment as they looked on. And, he had the thought of, imagine all the other people going through this right now, in that moment.
I bet Mrs. West didn't want nothing to do with that. Like, since you're not ruining my brand, no, ma'am.
Well, Miss West can't. Her husband is still trying to get on the ballot in some states.
Yeah, he's still in Ohio. Minnesota. That came out in the news today.
Mm-hmm. Say it again, Quiana.
I said, he's suing the lead person over the voting process. I forget the title.
Secretary of State in Ohio.
Yes, because they won't let him. They denied him on the ballot. So and that's probably why because all up until this point, anytime I've seen Alice Johnson, the two people that she has given praise to was Kim and Trump. And I think that Kim would have been a part of the conversation, and we would have saw more of Kim if Kanye was not running for office. They needed to disconnect, right? Right. So, like, he's on 7 ballots. It's like 7
I think, and then I don't know if you saw that letter from the Secretary of State of Missouri, but that letter was long and read for filth. It was awesome. Like, sir, you will not be at the show me state. Please be quiet.
He's like in the random states, like. I'm just like, okay.
You can't be a serious contender and you miss the deadlines to file.
I mean, but for anything for this, crime mob family to win, they will do, because they just, now that they've moved into the White House, they never ever want to leave. They like living in a free house.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let's move to this guy, Jeff Van Drew.
Who?
So that one too. There was 30 minutes out I didn't see.
Yeah, let's move on. And again, the people who you just wouldn't expect, like this guy, who's the social media director. He's responsible for Trump's tweets.
Oh, this bastard over here is the reason why. I'm sorry. I got a beef with you, sir.
The whole world. The world.
Like, oh.
Beef ain't the word.
I can't. Like, so you're the reason why this man trends all the time. Like, sir, you have a special place in hell in my heart. Special place in hell. So my dad's always working from dusk till dawn. Shut the hell up. He's sitting with Dan over here.
Dan Scavino.
Whatever his name is.
Yes. And then
I work from dusk to dawn, because you never know when the foolishness is gonna pop off.
I mean, I want to know his salary. I want to see it.
Everybody in the White House is making over 130. Like you making bank.
I mean, you also
who are in the administration, not the career professionals who might be taking care of the White House. Let's say that. Let me say that.
Because it's historical around like the idea. My personal story with Trump is yours too. Is it?
It's no. Right.
My personal story with Trump is a nightmare. Like when I think about those tweets, you know, like how he comes for people. Like who talks like that, sir? That's not. You tried.
What did Ivana say? Ivanka, she said, "Well, you know, no one likes his style of communication." No, I don't. I need for homie to act like he.
I gave her 10 points for the colorization of that. That was good. I see. That was good, girl. That was real good.
I mean, that was cute, but no.
Everybody wants a Victoria's Secret runway. Everybody wants a Victoria's Secret runway. Anyway, your favorite, Letitia. Your favorite is next.
Turtle.
Yeah, I've been waiting. I'm
Rich McConnell.
Using my time. You know, so I'm that.
You know what? I just want to say to him and his wife, who is our Secretary of Transportation, who's violating the Hatch Act, doing all this dumb shit at our lovely White House that our tax dollars pay for, and for him who stole Supreme Court pick. It was supposed to go to Merrick Garland. I'm okay with the homeboy now because he's sitting here trying to get some stuff to pass for that goes towards us. But yo, F that guy. I hope he loses. I hope he loses Kentucky. Yes, his name is Turtle. I have nicknames for those who don't know. Every time I'm coming over here, I got a new nickname for someone, but Mitch McConnell is Turtle. At first, I called him Droopy, but I was like, I used to call Joe Lieberman that. So,
what happened to Joe Lieberman? Did he?
No, I wish he was around.
Did he die? We need to check on Joe.
I don't think so.
Somebody tell us what happened to Joe Lieberman. He's an independent, wasn't he?
Yes, he should have been McCain's VP pick, but oh no. You know what? That's another person we didn't see. Where Palin at?
Palin did a speech, didn't she?
I thought
they cut her. She was on the roster, and they cut Palin. I think. Yes, somebody fact check me on that, but I believe.
First of all, see,
maybe I'm thinking about because somebody just recently interviewed her. Like I feel like I recently saw her on TV.
She did do 2 interviews. She did the interview that she gave advice for Kamala. That was BS.
That's maybe what I'm thinking about.
Yeah.
And then she did another interview. It was the second interview that she did where she was still supporting 46-1. So
you know, I mean, she still see Russia from her house, so she's read all the magazines. So, but he wants to. Here's the thing about Turtle. I think it's just baseless. I mean, I will give Turtle his props. He's a great, excellent political savant. I'm gonna give you your props, but sir, I need all this stuff that you got mad at President Obama, Barack Hussein Obama, for wearing a tan suit, and this dude is having a whole thing on the White House. I swear on everything agreed and holy, if Obama did one thing to the White House, we would never hear the end of it.
But he would not want to, right? Like there's no desire because of all of the grand stages that you could use in these United States and paint with a beautiful backdrop. Why would you, right? Like,
won't do nothing for the state of Kentucky and talking about the fact of the matter that no one has done anything for the killers of Breonna Taylor. So Turtle can miss me, go back through your shell, take your wife with you, who's a crook and a crony, and yeah. And he's not my favorite person. He's not. Like I just call him everything. I don't know about this dude either. I
don't know too much about Sean Reyes either.
Did he sound nice?
I don't know too much about Sean Reyes. I took a shower. I had to get ready, I go to bed after this. So
Right.
Yeah, I got nothing.
Right. Next.
Okay, your other favorite homeboy. Your other favorite.
Your cousin. Okay,
Well, not my cousin. That's nobody's cousin.
Okay. Let's start with the good, okay? Because Ben trying to keep the few black people that fool with him still, right? So he had goals to complete. He is the first person, with him being one of the most senior people in Trump's cabinet in his administration, he was the first person in the whole 4 days to acknowledge Jacob Blake by name. So that's why I was like, game time decisions. If anybody was gonna do it, he got volunteered as tribute to do it. To acknowledge and not only acknowledge him by name, but then offer condolences to the family and to the families affected in Kenosha. So, I was like, the 5 black people in the country that fooled with him that he needed to hold on to, he stepped up to the plate to say something about that before we get to the
black man out to talk to the black people.
What to talk about
the black
people with his own level of compassion, right? Because he always awkward. We always know that.
I mean, I don't have a nickname for him because the fact of the matter was that as a child, I was forced to read his book, and I regret every minute of reading Gifted.
Let's talk about field policy under Hood. You're a medical doctor, and you have all rights, and that's your lane, but you don't understand housing policy, right? And so you're leading in a space of which you're unqualified to.
He could have been the Surgeon General. He could have been a lot of things. He could have been Health and Human Services, but no. Oh, because I was like, you grew up in the middle class in Detroit, sir. You don't know nothing about nothing. But even then, he didn't even know what an REO was. So,
yes.
He thought it was an Oreo. And then posed with the thing. But again, I tell my dear older sister, who's probably going to listen to this later, I always give her the blues because she's a scientist by trade. And I'm saying Dr. Ben Carson is the reason why all scientists should have to take a humanities course, because I probably know that he probably has the worst bedside manner and has no empathy or humanity whatsoever.
He stood up today by acknowledging Jacob Blake and his family. Yeah. Right. It came out. So that's the one. That's the one. I was like, okay, you get points for that. You get points for that. And then you lost all those points that you had gained as you tried to produce some receipts. People you won't touch. Listen, Jesse Jackson might be a lot of things.
I don't want to mess with Jesse Jackson.
Don't go for Jesse and Rainbow Push. Don't do it. And the fact that you tried to use Jesse gonna send the minions for him. He's not gonna win after tonight. Right. Meanwhile, today, Jesse was in Kenosha giving a press conference that they live streamed today, and answering questions. And his folks almost popped off on the young man that was on the ground trying to, my question don't count. You don't answer my question. So Jesse came with the receipts. So the fact that you tried to say Jesse gave the, acknowledgments and praise to Trump. How long ago? We also saw Trump in Home Alone too. Like, I said, yeah, we still talking about Home Alone, right? That was a different kind of
Today was Home Alone.
A different situation. That was in that same vein. Where we were like, oh, okay, Trump, all right. Because he was staying in his lane back then. And so, yeah, Jesse gave him some acknowledgments back then. But so much has happened since then. Has Jesse said anything about that man in those same sentiments in the last 4 years? No, he has not. I don't even talk about it today.
I just don't understand, because isn't Jesse a part of one of the Divine Nine? I don't understand why any of these folks want to mess with anybody from the Divine Nine, because y'all be coming out ready to fight.
And let's be clear, Jesse has been staying low key ever since his hot mic.
Right.
8 years ago. He's been staying low key. Has it been 8? It might be 12 years now.
I remember when he said that, and I was just like, ouch.
Jesse has been staying low key for 12 years now. He out here doing what he been known to do, fighting for the good people and the injustices. He went back to doing it now. Now we have dealt with Jesse, and he is one of us. He kept his card, he in the family, right? And he settled his peace with Obama. I want to go back to this comment about not respecting him with putting the MD on his name.
No.
But that's indicative of a lot of people who have higher education in this administration, of not honoring these folks in the spaces and for what they have attained. So it is definitely a slight on Dr. Ben Carson. Even though I don't like the brother, I give him his honor.
You give him the.
I just try to remember him when Cuba Gooding Jr. played him in the movie, and I try to remember that version.
Another problematic person, though. He got to go to jail.
But he filmed it before he became extra problematic, you know. So I just try to hold on that, and I was like, that was a good movie, and I was like, is this the same man? Oh.
I think to the point, put some respect on his name. But I will say to this, like, when he made that comment about Jesse Jackson, I was just sitting here. The first thing on my mind was, wait a minute, isn't Jesse part of the Divine Nine? You folks in this administration testing the waters of these Black folks in these organizations who have pledged hard and crossed these burning sands,
who have
about to get the smoke you don't want.
I know, Rainbow between the fraternity and
Rainbow Bush in Chicago. No, you stop. Like stop.
Let's move on to the next sister in red, Ann Dorn. Her husband was killed in a hijacking. You know, I felt empathetic to her, but there's a lot of sad stories. And I'm gonna do this other one at the same time. Another sad story: Carla and Marsha Mueller, their daughter, was held for ransom. And it is true that the Obama administration had a policy that they were not negotiating with terrorists. That was a policy. And I felt for them.
I'm sorry, that was a policy. That's been a policy for a long time.
Absolutely, a long time that the United States does not negotiate with terrorists.
I mean, who was it? I think who was it? There was a journalist that got mad about because they were like, "You gonna do this?" And I think it was like President Bush. It was Baby Bush, and Baby Bush said, "Nah, we do not negotiate with terrorists."
Yeah.
That's how terrorist organizations work. Like France, for the longest time, the country France was funding folks like Al Qaeda and that sort of stuff because they would grab folks from France and be like, "Here, we need this money," and France would send all the money for them so that they can get their people back.
We may talk about Trevor Noah's ad at the end. I just saw it a couple of minutes ago. Patrick Lynch, he is one of the he's over the police union.
Nah, bye. ACAB.
Super annoyed.
I'm just
because then that circle back around. That just gave Trump some really great ammo around New York. And that was one other story because then they had pulled the story about the officer, I think that was last year, who had and her daughter and them were in the audience. Her family was in the audience. That was a lot.
Yeah. Speaking of New York, and then they brought Rudy Giuliani back up.
I don't know what he looked like, but he was sweating a lot with that DC heat. He was not doing too well in the I'm just saying that August heat was getting to him. I'm just upset about. I mean, again, he was. I can't. Like, it was just filled with lies. Like, you want to sit here and talk about how horrible New York was. You're the reason why New York got even that horrible, and you didn't do anything about it. You sat there and looked at small crimes. And you didn't look at the larger ones. You talk about people living in broken windows, and you didn't go and fix them. So,
come on. The internet is ablaze about Melania's green screen dress.
That dress was fabulous. I loved it.
I thought it was nice. Okay,
the dress.
I thought it was nice. Okay, y'all didn't like the color, but sis was dressed. Okay,
You wasn't gonna miss her.
Right. All that black.
She had a nice belt on. It might have been.
And maybe she was trying to send secret messages. Let's think about this, because yesterday she had on pink, and then today she had on apple green.
Yes, she's been.
You know, is she secretly like, you know, like
she's with
your girl? She
membership.
She's looking for an honorary. It's great. Okay, Melania looking for y'all. She had her green on yesterday. Well, green on today, her pink on yesterday, and you know, so it's just been, you know,
and her Aunt Lydia outfit on the first night on her day.
You know what that side by side means? Who posted that in our chat? Tamika.
There was two of them. They had one Fidel Castro, right, and the other was the lady. I was like, oh, Melania. Oh yes, they did mean thought she was going to war in that other outfit.
Oh yeah, yesterday I definitely was like, whatever night, yesterday, day before, I was like, oh, she came with her military fit on.
Mm-hmm.
She was ready.
Right. Tom Cotton.
Tom Cotton Ball.
No Lips Lion. I Hate History. And you got a Harvard education, which makes me even angry. Side eyes are Harvard. Like, let anybody
into again, exaggeration. And exaggeration. That like a lot of things, like we stretching it, time. Like we stretching a lot of exaggeration here.
I think for him, I think what I find him to be so crazy, like he was talking about freedom of speech and folks being able to do this stuff, but yet you were okay with Tangerine Mussolini going off and bulldozing all those folks in Lafayette Square so that he can go take a photo with the Bible upside down in front of a church, and you was okay with that.
Yeah.
So you just sat there, and then he lied. That's the biggest thing he did. He lied about killing Osama bin Laden. And I'm gonna be the first to put this out there. It was Baby Bush's reconnaissance work, and then Obama delivered, because he literally said, I will hunt down and kill whoever comes against us. And that's, I just want to say, he just basically said it was on site. And then he was watching it. And apparently Biden was against it. And I was like, that's not true. Biden was his hype man. Get off, stop it.
Right. So
Biden questioned the intelligence to make sure that the intelligence was factual.
Right.
That's what he questioned, and he did it in private. Right. So we only found out about it because of the scathing book that came out from yes. So again, right, not things that were playing out. We didn't know these things until later, right? And of course, that's what leadership is. You discuss and you disagree.
Right.
Behind the scenes, and we all in unity together when we come on out. Y'all favorite, I want to come back to her because we didn't do too much.
All your trademarks, that you mad because China's getting on you about your trademarks, Ivanka?
They shut down her business, didn't they?
They shut down your businesses, and so now you want to talk trash about China.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I peeped that. Oh, Russia's so great. Oh, but China, they're out to get us. Oh,
she was real skilled.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but she's a good wordsmith, and so, and I was like, what is she wearing? Like, let's see it, because I was like, I know she's gonna come out there looking perfect, you know, and she had her tone. And it's like reasonability politics. She's good with the reasonability, and you know, giving folks some thought. You know, oh yeah, well, okay, I can make it make sense. Like she had to be last because she was the last hope, based on the week of how this was gonna go, of the folks that were tasked with humanizing and making Trump feel like a relatable person. she was the one to be the voice of reason of, well, yeah, you might not like his tone, and but he still gets the job done, and this is how he does it. And something about her speech, there was a moment there where I was like, that piece right there is targeted specifically for the Republicans who have left, those 20, 27.
Now 100, it's like more, it's like almost 200 because all of McCain's folks was petty today and announced that they were going to just vote for Trump.
So that was also her goal, was to reach that group, because it boils down to, because the way they see it is that we don't like him. Like she's trying to say, we don't like him, but we like the business of him, but it's not enough to stay. And so that was her job, was to try to reel some of them back around those conversations, and that he's no nonsense and he's tough and he's not a career politician, but he was able to come and do what the career politicians have not been able to do. And then and there was a little moment in there where, again, this was speaking to the Republican Party specifically, where she had talked about not only just on the Democratic side, but on the Republican side.
Right.
That Trump came in and pop to both sides.
I think for those wavering Republicans, she might have been effective. It was barring content, because I didn't agree with it. As a speech, as an oration, it may have been very well effective. And I think she hit the points, like you said, Quiana, to really humanize him. You don't like these things about it. You think his tweets are offensive, right? The things that, and I was watching, what's his name from New Jersey, former governor of New Jersey? Christie, who talked about, had there been some remorse shown in Trump's speech, that might have gone over with some of his folks. But there was none of that. That's why he had Ivanka. Ivanka is the one and that's the problem with 46 minus 1, is that he wants everybody else to humanize him, and there's none of that for himself, right? And how much can you lie about a person and then they'll show up and they show you? I've just been telling everybody all week, when people show you who they are, believe them. They show you over and over when they're consistently showing you who they are, right?
But I think to that point, I think she may have gotten like the folks who have been like, you know what, I can do it, but then it's like, I'm only human, I'm gonna go back here. But I think like to the rest of the folks, like people who are just like, yeah, no, it's a no for me. I don't think she got them, because I think like the fact of the matter is that it's not just the fact of him being of Tangerine Mussolini, and I'm gonna not call him Tangerine Mussolini because Mussolini actually went to war and won battles, and he did not. He's Cadet Bone Spurs, but Cadet Bone Spurs decided that Senator Tammy Duckworth, there you go. He kept on going at folks. So when you go and talk about someone like the late Senator John McCain and the Gold Star families and that sort of stuff, where this is something that's very pivotal, like very just as much a cornerstone in the GOP, and then you want to say you military and that sort of stuff, that's when those folks started leaving. Because like once he started making jabs at McCain, I was like, you better stop, sir. That's not cool. That's probably the reason why the Bushes ain't said not sugar honey iced tea this entire time. They are really going to probably stay silent this time, because they're like, we not talking. Because
they stay silent the last time, and I mean, the Bushes never forgave him from the way that he had talked about all of them, including 41.
Yeah.
So
I just think it's just something to that level. Like, we have to start thinking about this in a sense of like, I think we put it in the chat, how this is Trump's party, but it's literally to the point where it's like, what do you do when you literally leave the people that they're just not there? You have to be able to cheat. So you have folks like the failed governor of Wisconsin, Scott Walker, and those folks who are these plebes coming in and making these talking points. But when you talk about someone like, when you keep going at John McCain, and you know for a fact that a lot of those folks, like, that's their boy. Like you're not gonna just talk about folks. That's why, who was it? Again, 100 of John McCain's former staffers all endorsed Joe Biden. And that's huge. I mean, it's huge. And I can't say I can't go with endorsements, but it's just something because like I want to see people vote at this time. Like at this moment, it's just like it's not even about endorsements. It's like, are you showing up or are you not?
I'm not paying attention. The endorsements are important to help people who may be sitting on the fence, and I don't discount those. But like you said, you're right. It's are you willing to show up to the poll? Because if you're feeling disheartened or disenfranchised, and you might have the tendency to stay home, don't stay home. Get your mail-in ballot now.
Or to get it now.
While you feel in disarray, go ahead and get your mail-in ballot and send it in now. Go ahead and do that while you still have a chance. I think the speech, and I want to dig into the 70-minute speech, that was a lot of lies, a lot of misleading, false characterizations.
Yeah.
And then at the end, he started ticking off his 50 bullet points from his agenda. I just draw a contrast that Joe Biden has a 110-page policy.
Right.
And there are 50 bullet points.
Man, mediocre white. He's not even a mediocre white man. Like it's just like, ugh, I can't. Like when I was listening to his speech, I was just like, this is awful and horribly terrifying. And I think what made it even worse is that here's this dude. I think what made this week kind of like made me more upset about this week is the fact that they attacked Joe Biden's faith in a way, and then lauded Cadet Bone Spurs, who I guess is now next to Jesus.
Right. I never heard him talk about the Lord so much.
Like so
4 years than I had this week.
I'm just saying, and if that's your journey with Christ, that is your journey in Christ, I will let you have it. But that if you had that real journey in Christ, you would sound a lot like Alice Johnson than you would like how you normally sound.
Because Alice,
and I'll take that back, right? Like we haven't heard him, but what he has done, Paula White as his advisor. So, she is again, because we've talked about like the people that paint the picture, that's her job. As to be the Christian compass for him, that she is always there in that spotlight.
I just, again, and that to me that's what makes it scary, because it's just like, I guess like, and this is probably how I was taught as a child, and and how I believe, it's just like people know that you're a Christian by the way you act. It's not about the words that you say, it's how you act, it's how you treat folks who don't like, who are less than you, like who are struggling in that sense, because you're supposed to be like Christ. I'm not negating that. Again, if I don't want folks coming being like, you said that Trump ain't no Christian. I'm just saying, if he is a Christian in that sense, why didn't he atone for all the horrible things that he said about some of these people? He never did. So it's just kind of like to the fact where it's like people use spirituality, like we talked about this yesterday, people use spirituality and religion in such a way, and it shouldn't even be used in that sense. But for him to sit here and talk about how we need to talk about save God, and how this, I literally heard Paula White in that speech, because when he sat there and he said, we don't need leaders, we don't need this, we need God. And it was like,
that ain't never been not nothing when you've been off the cuff. That ain't been never not nothing. You said, on your own.
I just
said,
they've screamed at him to stay on the teleprompter until he got his bullet points, and he tried to ad-lib a little bit. Very fine people, very fine people. So let's turn towards the future. What's happening.
So I feel like
Letitia came out today and she said that Joe Biden should not debate 45. Joe said he would debate him. She said he's not worthy. Basically, my words.
Who said that?
Nancy Pelosi. She said in her press conference, she said, "Don't tell Joe Biden I said this, but he shouldn't dignify him by doing it because he hasn't proven himself." But what are y'all looking forward to in the debates? Things that we need to talk about.
The meme.
Well, I think what's going to come up, or because we're in the middle of some of the things, a lot of business happening right now, right? And so the questioning of what's going to happen when Laura and who else down there trying to take y'all out with the water? Marco
left. It was Marco, and then and praise be, Marco got ripped off by this high. Now I feel like a good old meteorologist. Got ripped off by this airflow, right? This
the jet stream.
Yeah, the jet stream. Thank you. Yes,
I'm still a meteorologist from my time with Barry.
Yeah,
with my sorors when we were in New Orleans.
Yeah, Yes, the jet streams, the jet stream that comes.
Our roommate Otil on here. She knows we were there. We are certified in meteorology.
Yes, the jet stream just ripped up Marco, but Laura,
she came through.
Laura said, "I'm coming for you," and so.
Well, and then there was a question. He questioned sending aid, to these areas that are already hit. So we are already painting like these are the things, right? That these are the things that are going to come up. Where's the aid for these southern states, that are either on the verge or have already declared state of emergencies for the hurricanes? So that's going to be a thing, for conversation. In addition to the rest of the fallout of this Jacob Blake, because we are far from in the thick of it, right?
Right.
And I think I saw a headline today. I didn't read it in the details. Like the family went in to see him, and he was in handcuffs. Like paralyzed. Where he going? He done had surgery. Where he going? Why is he in handcuffs in the hospital? Help me understand that.
He got shot 7 times, my guys. Like what y'all?
Nobody's wheeling him out. He's not going anywhere.
I think yesterday I stayed up a little bit and to watch the commentary with Rachel Maddow, Joy Reid, and Nicole Wallace, which I feel like they should just have their own show because I'd watch because it was awesome. And I think it was they were someone was it was Ari Melber on MSNBC, and he was interviewing the dude, I don't know what his name, but he was a part of the Cajun Navy, and James Carville. And I think the guy from the Cajun Navy, he just kind of said, "Yo, put up or shut up." He literally said that. He's like, "Put up or shut up." He was like, "We don't need to hear any of this stuff. Send us the money, work around this FEMA stuff where it's like, I don't want no trailers. I want folks to build these houses up and that sort of stuff and help these families get back to where they're at." Because I think what was it? I woke up this morning and there was already like the death of a 14-year-old because a tree fell on her house last night. So I think I think for the presidential debates, I already know it's going to be a sideshow because it's going to be some dumb stuff. He's going to pull off the same things that he did when he debated Hillary. So one of those debates, he's going to bring that woman that accused Biden of doing something to her.
Mm-hmm. I think also because what they did this week, they put COVID in the rear view.
Right.
And it was all about law and order. And then today you're making promises that by the end of the year. So let's define the end of the year. That's the month of December.
Mm-hmm.
We will know a lot by the last debate where we are when it comes to COVID. And I think we'll know a significant amount as well by the first debate, with it coming in at the end of September.
Yeah.
Because October, November, December, that's 3 months. And when the World Health Organization gives their reports that we're not there yet, people are gonna know. And when it's gonna boil down to election day, we're gonna see a lot. I feel like a lot of news coverage of where the failure in some of that is, because folks think that that's where we're gonna be, and if we need the data, in order for us to be able to have a viable vaccine, there has to be data, and there's just not enough time.
And I think it takes a year. It takes what it's for the flu vaccine. It took nearly 30 years for it to be used for a viable flu vaccine. So I think it's something to that level again. Don't be making promises. I mean, I think what was it? There was a report today that FDA and the CDC was doing something. Will our schools be by the first debate? No.
Some schools have just ruled it out that they're just going to be online for the entire semester, and that's state by state, district. I know my nephew's district in Augusta. They are not even trying to be in person every day. They're going every other day. So I think it depends. And so this notion about, again, this contrast of opening schools but practicing something different that's not going to keep people safe. It's just sending this very difficult message, right? And
if we're gonna be out of shutdown after these 2,000 people was out there on the lawn,
and we don't know where they're from. That's the thing. We don't know where they're going. These are some super spreaders who could be in some space. But then on top of that, I think we need to look at the privilege of just that whole administration and how they are like reaching the benefits. They get tested every other day. So
everybody who comes in contact, which I don't disagree with this as a practice, but everybody who comes in contact with the president has to be tested.
Right.
They come in contact with him without being tested. And you've got access to rapid testing.
Right. So you can get rapid fire testing. You probably have all this stuff. I just don't like for them to be able to do all that stuff and act like if it's nothing and then say that they are for the people. They are not for the people.
And maybe everybody got a shot of chloroquine before they sat out.
From the doctor who said that there's demon sperm while we dream.
Maybe they cleanse it by putting bleach in. Maybe they injected bleach.
Or UV light.
Or UV light. Maybe
I'm not a scientist, but that freaked me out when I heard that.
Maybe they can test it out. You asked Dr. Burks that. Right. So we have come, y'all, to the end of our time yet again.
Well, Dayshan, I was ready for him to read everything for Phil.
Well, hey, here we are. But so appreciate y'all. Gonna be back here on Monday for the battle. Okay, Monica and Brandy, the pre-show. I got a diehard Monica fan, a diehard Brandy fan, and a chef who's gonna make some nibbles and bites and a drink for us. Okay, so check out all my social over the weekend because you need to go and get your ingredients so you'll be ready on Monday. Okay, you'll be ready.
That's exciting.
I'm excited to watch this. I just want good music. This is supposed to be,
Letitia, who you rooting for? Who's your pick?
There's so many things that I like about both of them, but then I like, of course, Monica like Brandy all day. I like Monica because I've never heard Missy Elliott say Brandy's name in any of her songs.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Okay. I've been trying to tell y'all.
But I don't want, but that's no shade to Brandy. I love.
It's shade for me, but there's that. Okay.
Sitting up in my room is still a bop. I want to be down is still a bop. There's just something about Monica that I've always loved.
I want y'all to go and check out your social media. A slew of artists who have been silent for a while have come back today. Jasmine Sullivan has new music out now. Tweet has new music out now.
I know Brian lost it.
I love me some Tweet. I love me some Smoke Cigarettes at Night is by Jam Forever. It's a golden. I think Tony Braxton has a new piece out as well.
I'm a Birdman.
Leticia's album, her full album, it has been released. And so if you like neo soul, if you like R&B, today is your day. So keep all of that.
Oh, I love me some
Monda. He asked me for my opinion. That is all.
Listen, so Missy did say a few names, but she never said Brandy's. That's the point. She said a few names, but she never said Brandy.
Said Aaliyah. Said
and then Aaliyah's been trending this past week.
Oh, because it was the anniversary of her death.
Her birthday. And then did y'all see? So it was interesting correlation because Aaliyah's been trending as it was her birthday. And then today, R. Kelly got beat up in jail, y'all. Did you see that? I said, did somebody have a moment? Because they're vying for him to be released because they are saying that the authorities can't keep him safe in jail. And so somebody walked up in his cell, beat him up. And so he's got bruises and scratches.
Oh, poor little Tank.
Right.
Sing a song for them. Maybe they won't do it.
So I think somebody was like, Aaliyah. I was like, did somebody have a moment? It was like, Aaliyah, I'm going to. I just very coincidental that it happened in the same week.
I just also want to say yesterday when all the basketball, NBA, baseball players just seeing this massive, just like, we done.
Yeah.
Like, did you see the women? I didn't see it till today. Yeah. I didn't realize that because I saw the headline. The only things that I initially saw yesterday was the men walking in and out of the locker rooms, and they were talking about Doc Rivers and the whole. But what was powerful and overwhelming and emotional was that the women had on the T-shirts with the 7 gunshot stains on the back of the shirt. If you haven't seen that imagery, and them taking a knee.
And then yesterday was the 4-year anniversary of when Colin Kaepernick protested his first game. And so I just I think it's something, I think this is a good, if hockey's doing it too, because hockey, that's a white
hockey.
Yeah, hockey's a white sport, but I'm going to say it, go for it. I think
all the things. And
I think there's, today Joy Reid was interviewing someone about Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, because everyone talks about not Muhammad Ali all the time, but then they don't talk about like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and how he was very much an activist in the 60s and that sort of stuff, and how he didn't want to play for the United States in the Mexico City Olympics because he was not only just protesting what was happening here, but there was a massacre that there was protest by students right before the Olympics called the Massacre of Tlatelolco, and they wiped out all these students who were seeing her saying, you all are pouring all this money in for these sports and we ain't got books. And so he stopped, he didn't want to go. And so I think I'm just I'm hopeful because I love seeing this stuff kind of move. And I'm just I really want this movement to just keep going. That's what I want to say, keep going. But it's just something on the backdrop of this RNC, it's y'all had a moment to do something, to strike when the iron was hot, and you missed that moment.
But right. They thought they did. They thought they had some good moments about acknowledging, what we've done for the HBCUs. And, that was one of the first things that as soon as we took office, we brought in the president. And all the Antonio,
I see you with this picture. Look at this photo.
As we're wrapping up, I just want the people to know that if you didn't watch us always, if you didn't watch us, or you didn't watch all of the DNC or the RNC, you can catch myself and the Election Crew on the podcast on your favorite platform. And I'll be back on Tuesday. Well, I'll be back Monday and Tuesday next week with the podcast. I'm not going to be doing a live on Tuesday, but I got a crew on Tuesday. Check it out. It's going to be great. We're going to be talking about all of the things. And then there's also another, if you haven't seen it, okay, September the 7th, the meeting after the meeting is coming.
We're coming back.
We're coming back for season 2.
Season 2.
So if you don't have time to sit in one place and watch, but you want to listen to us on the go as you get ready, a lot of our listeners listen at us as they're getting ready in the morning. That's what our data has tell us. You got to read the data, right? And so we appreciate the morning crew and all of the people who support. Whether you're listening to the Deep End podcast, you're supporting the meeting after the meeting. Much love to y'all. Thank you to everybody, all of the faithful ones who have been with us for both conventions, all of it. Stay tuned. Check out the Deep End page on Facebook and stay tuned for all the updates. We're gonna leave out being safe. Remember, wear your mask, wash your hands,
hand,
and stay socially distant. All right, and we'll see y'all soon.